all good. It's all part of the
Whatever.
process.
Whatever.
We define our own rules.
Okay. All right. Deep breath. Dance party.
Refocus.
Okay. All right. Let me turn off my phone because it's really distracting now. All right. Okay, guys, welcome to today's episode of EmpowHERing Coffee Convos. I am Jessi, the founder and chief empowerment officer of This Way to Fabulous. And today I have the amazing Elaine Katz with me. She is the owner of Carolina Pineapple. She is a project management professional who is an amazing career and money coach for women entrepreneurs. Okay, you guys, Elaine is super, super special to me. Okay, I met her in a business mastermind class that we were both a part of. And I'm telling you guys, like the minute I heard her speak in one of the calls, I just like instantly was like, I want to be this girl's best friend. She is hilarious. She just has the most like contagious, energetic personality. Like she's just so my people. And I know you guys are going to love her too. So before we start, Elaine, why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about yourself? Like just a quick synopsis of who you are and maybe where you're at in your life right now.
Absolutely. Well, first off, completely mutual about wanting to be besties. Like instantly, I was like, I have to get to know this girl. So a little bit about me, who I am, where I am in life. Like you said, I'm a career and finance coach. And that's my, if you want to call it my side hustle, my passion project, whatever you want. But during the day, I'm an analyst and project management professional. And so it gets a little crazy in life, but I wouldn't have it any other way because both sides kind of fulfill me equally.
Good. I mean, that's part of success, right? Feeling fulfilled.
Exactly. And I love nothing more than to be able to empower women to go after their dreams and make them a reality. And if I can throw in a little sass and sarcasm in there, and just kind of like, I'm from the South. I don't know if you could tell from my accent, but
I feel like you have a very heavy accent at all. I get people who are like, oh my God, your Chicago accent. And I'm like, my accent? What? What accent?
Love it. But, like being from the South, you're taught like to, growing up, like be demure, like let the man take care of everything, like, all of that stuff. And that is just, that was never in my DNA. And
when you know.
Exactly. I've slowly but surely found my own path, it's been fun and rewarding. So
awesome. Well, Elaine, I'm so excited to have you here today. I love sharing the mic with like-minded women who just understand this excitement and like this passion for, using our own stories to help other women too. Okay. So, as a little bit of backstory, something we talked a lot about in this mastermind that we were a part of, was not just growing a business, but also achieving a joy-filled life. Okay. Now, as most of you already know, the main premise behind this segment and my podcast in general is really breaking down the word success. Okay. What does it mean? How do we find it? How do we keep it? Like society's made this word seems so much like a simple answer with like specific criteria, like check the boxes. But guess what, guys? I call bullshit on that because it is not that simple. Okay. It is just not that simple. So Elaine, I see you nodding your head. Okay. Like, let's hear from you. What do you think success means? Like, what is like, do you think it's as simple as black and white, or are you in like team gray area here?
Oh, I'm always team gray. There is no black and white. Everyone has a different definition of what success is, what it looks like, how it's achieved, and no one's opinion is wrong. Like that's the beauty of it. And I also think like growing up, we kind of were formed by our parents and their definition of success.
Absolutely.
And that was great for them. But we live in a completely different world and a completely different society that our parents did. What was success to them was, at least for my dad, it was staying with the same company for 30 years and retire, or 40 whatever years and retiring with them. That doesn't happen now,
There's no pension. We don't get pension. Like, this is bullshit.
No. And with staying with that company, you know, like you mentioned, pension, it's money, and success equals money, and making lots and lots of money. That used to be the definition. And it's just, for me, it's not the same. Okay. You know, I remember when I graduated from college and I started looking for a job, and I said, if I ever make X amount of money, that's going to be awesome. Right. And if I ever make Y amount of money, I am set for life. Well, guess what? I made both of those amounts of money, and it didn't bring me anything except wanting more and more money. Like,
it's addicting. It's exactly. Like, it's straight up addicting.
And it's funny because you think you're going to hit a certain amount of money. Now, whether that means making a certain amount of money, having a certain amount of money in your bank account, your retirement account, whatever it might be, you're going to think like, I hit that and I'm set. But I'm here to tell you that you hit that and you're like, I want more. I want more. Like, it's never enough.
Never enough. It becomes this like obsession, because you feel like you're chasing a destination, you know, like you're not really present anymore for like the journey. Exactly.
And so from that, I learned that money does not equal success. Now, don't get me wrong. Money is nice to have. It's nice to afford a place to live. It makes certain things easier. But I wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy for a very long time. And it was a lesson to learn for sure.
For sure. And I love that you have this perspective, because I feel like I was definitely also the victim of feeling like success had a very specific dollar amount on it, you know, like, and right now as business owners, you're obviously pushing to make money, right? Like, in order to keep going, we have to make money, but to what end? Right. And so like, I can personally tell you, I hit the 7-figure business mark at a time in my life. And you know what? I won't sit here and say it totally sucks. I mean, who doesn't love having money to splurge with, you know? But like, ultimately I was not happy. I wasn't really happy in my business, and it surely poured into my home life, you know, and, you know, hindsight is 2020, right? So like, I did not really know this at the time, but looking back, I was just like, wow, like I was so stuck in this like never ending thought of like what I was supposed to be doing, and like how I was being measured for my success, like what those criteria, like what that measurement criteria was, right? And guess what? The glory of that money didn't stay. It actually disappeared way quicker than it was earned. And, you know, so like, how can we base our success and happiness on something with so many variables, right? Like, how can we do that?
Absolutely. And I think that's when a shift has to happen. So it has to be a shift from money, right? And not just, I have to make more, but a focus on the intangibles. So what makes you happy? So for a lot of people, they're able to spend time with their kids, you know, if they're a parent. If they're single, maybe they're able to travel. You're able to go out with your friends. Maybe there's a hobby that you love that brings you joy. I don't know, like kayaking, or I don't know.
Whatever floats your boat.
It costs a lot of money for all the stuff. I don't know. But yes, literally float your boat. I like that.
Oh, now you get it.
Takes a second sometimes. But like, are you working a job that it looks great from the outside? You know, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky to, you know, work for that company, but you leave every day just exhausted. You don't want to do anything else for the rest of the day. You don't want to see anyone. Like, that's not success. That's living in misery. At the end of the day, you want what's going to fill you up and bring you joy. And that's where your success is going to come.
Absolutely. And like you said about, you know, like leaving the office and being like just so exhausted, like that does not just apply to people who are in a corporate job. You know, as a business owner, it might actually be exponentially worse for some of us, because it's literally like you go through the day, you work, you're working 12 to 14 hour days, because like that's what it takes at certain seasons of your business. And you are just completely spent, completely burnt out, like it's all of us. Like, it's not just a corporate job thing, but we as small business owners have the opportunity to change that mindset for ourselves. It's hard as hell, but we actually kind of like have that opening to do something like that. So like I love all of this. I think this is so relevant. And I actually worked through this revelation, getting out of the wedding industry. The money was decent, but at the end of the day, it meant sacrificing most of my weekends, and it was just not bringing me joy anymore. Like I started to dread the job while I was like prepping my gear the day before, or like for a shoot. And I think that's what I really started to like finally pay attention to those feelings, instead of just kind of like shoving them off, and I just like knew that something had to change. And, shortly after my 7-figure business collapsed, I also found myself in the midst of divorce. And, I like talk about a midlife freaking crisis, right? And just like a total deep, dark hole of depression. Okay. Like there was a lot of things going on in my life at that time, but like, whoa, guys, like everything I thought I knew about a successful life, like on paper, I was freaking successful, right? I was like, yes, I hit that mark. And guess what? Like, gone, poof. Everything I thought I knew about what it meant to be successful was just like, bye, So like, Elaine, in your journey of finding success, like, did you ever have a moment where you found yourself like at, like what you would call like a rock bottom? That wasn't a joke.
Absolutely. I have gone through a lot of ups and downs in my life. I am a survivor of sexual assault. I went through a deep depression. And I actually had a plan to end things for myself. It was, when I say dark, it was dark. I've been at the bottom, literally can't get any farther down, and at that time I was making a decent wage when I went through all of that. It didn't change that I was going through that. I was still very, very unhappy. And, money cannot dig you out of that depression. Now, don't get me wrong. Money gave me the availability to go to counseling.
Sure.
But I could have been making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever amount it was, and it wouldn't have changed where I was or the fact that I was going through that. And, especially as small business owners, we're doing things because our passion is out there. Like typically it's something that we are going after because that is what fires us up. But when you're going through all of these other things, that's kind of when a perspective shift comes in, because you start to realize I've been going after the wrong things. Right. And because, again, I'm not trying to sit here and be like, money is bad, money is awful. It's not at all. But when that is your main purpose in life, for me, it left me empty, but also I feel like it comes across when you're talking to people.
Yeah.
And that for me, because I love to connect with people, that would also kind of just put me back down in that depression state.
Yeah. Wow. What a powerful story, Elaine. Like, I can't even tell you how appreciative I am that you are sharing this with us, because like we said before, like this platform is meant for us to have a place to actually share our stories and our experiences and how they got us to where we are today. Because, everything that we go through is like a stepping stone to whatever comes next. And some of those steps break and they fall and they're really painful, but they take us to like a whole nother place. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. So there you are, like right in the thick of it. Was there like, do you remember a specific aha moment for you that like kind of started to change the trajectory of your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I went to an old boss about getting a new position at the company I was at, but I didn't know what I wanted to do or could do. And she asked what made me happy. And I said, helping people, among other things. And I was working in, I work in the IT industry, right? And so as my day job. And so she suggested, well, why don't you work on the help desk? And I was like, I don't want to help people in that way. No.
You know what? I take back what I said. I actually don't want to help you.
I was like, the second someone calls in and I'm like, have you tried turning it off and on? Right? Like, I'm just like, no, that's not going to work for me.
I'm the person on the other line that's like, yes, I've tried that 10 times. Can you actually help me?
So, I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. You have to know them both.
Absolutely.
So I kind of, it set me on a path of how did I want to help people? And I sat with that for a while, like 2 years, right? Like when I say like, this was a journey, it was a journey. Nothing was overnight, right?
Right.
I kept trying different things, but it didn't click for me until I got my PMP certification, which is a project management professional. And when I got that, everything clicked, and I kind of saw how something that I loved, which was breaking things down into manageable pieces to achieve your goals, it could help so many people. And it was something I've been doing in one form or another for my entire life. And I was like, wait, there's a job that does this thing that I love? What? And people need help with this? I'm your girl.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, like trying new things. I mean, like it's so simple, but like, holy shit, can it be so ridiculously powerful, right? And like you said, it's not an overnight thing, and everyone is chasing this overnight answer to so many things. And it's just like, it's crazy, but you have to be willing to, like, you have to get yourself and your body and your mind to a place where you're willing to open up to trying something new, right? So then with this new thought process, like what changed for you? Like, what did you learn along that journey out of darkness?
Well, one thing that became apparent is, well, 2 things became apparent. Just because,
well, probably 3, probably 4, maybe 5.
We'll start with the first one. Was, kind of one thing that we talked about earlier was your parents' definition of success does not have to be yours. And that was something like, that was a total game changer for me. And just because success means one thing to you today does not mean it cannot look different tomorrow. Right?
Absolutely.
Like,
I love that. I think that is so important, because it, like, once you can get out of that mindset of chasing a destination and realizing that journey, that road can wind as many times as it needs to, like, that's crazy. Continue.
I mean, and like we're small business owners, right? Like, we started our businesses in one direction, and I guarantee you all of us have pivoted in one way or another, even if it's a small pivot, if it's a complete 180.
Girl, you don't want to see my map. It's like a freaking maze in one of those like activity workbooks that like it's for your 4-year-old, but like you can't even do it. Like, that's what my map looks like.
Right. Well, and it's the time old, saying where it's like, we all expect it to all be in a straight line, right? And it's not. It's ups and downs, curves, circles, ovals, circles going round and round and round the same place a bunch of times, right? Like there's nothing linear about it, just don't lock yourself into one thing or one idea or one way of doing something because that's what you've been told you have to do, or it's the way you've always done it, or it's expected of you, or, well, but that was always the plan.
And like what you're saying right now too about like, that was the plan. And like, that's what, like, just because yesterday you thought that like, that's, like, that doesn't mean that today's not going to change that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like, we're always changing as people. So,
and if you're not, that's probably a bigger problem that we can address another day.
Preach. And so it's okay for your goals and your definition of things, including success, to change. I have always been a goal getter, even from a very young age. I knew what college I wanted to go to. I was going to go to William and Mary. I knew what I was going to do, which was go into business. And, I knew how my life would go. I would go to college. I would breeze through it. I would get my degree. I would land a $60,000 job right out of school. I would climb the corporate ladder, and I'd meet my future husband at 28, and we'd be married at 30, and we'd have kids, and life would be amazing. Yeah. Spoiler alert, that did not happen. I am 38. I will be 39 next month. I am single. I don't have any kids. I got rejected from William and Mary. I struggled with certain classes in college. I graduated into one of the worst job markets. I finally got my first job out of college, making $12.16 an hour. Now, this is a far cry from the 60,000 I was expecting to be making right out of college. Also, I don't know why I thought I was going to be making $60,000 right out of college.
Because something instilled in you that was the path that you were meant to take, that you were going to take, because someone set that path for you. Somebody in your life at some point in time influenced that thought for you. You didn't just come up with that out of thin air.
Absolutely. And I can laugh about it now. My life does not look like what I imagined at 18, but it's so much richer and more joyful than I ever could have imagined.
I love that you can say that you can laugh about it now, because I think that's also a really important milestone that a lot of people have trouble getting to. And I am also to a place now where I can look back and maybe not like haha laugh, but like kind of be like, okay, shit happens. But I feel like that again is something that just takes time. It takes time. Yeah. It takes commitment. It takes willingness to literally like open your mind to change. Like I have goosebumps over here, like permission to change, you guys. Like stop right now, rewind and listen to what Elaine just said, like all over again, because we are all human, right? Like if my kid can hate spaghetti and meatballs today and be freaking obsessed with them tomorrow, okay, like my goals and wants and loves can change just as quick as him, right? Like that's not fair. He doesn't get to live like that and I don't, right? So I hope you join me in this, but like I'm just so done. I'm just so done making choices in my business, in my life, based around anyone else but me. Okay, like I'm reeling over here, you guys. Like, I feel like I could go run a goddamn marathon right now. Like, this is just I'm so passionate about this. And it boils my blood to sometimes have conversations with people who are like, well, this is how my life is meant to be. Like, this is how my parents said things. I'm sorry, but screw all of that. Are you happy? Are you happy? Because if you are not happy in your life or your business, you're missing a key component of success. Now, you could be successful on paper, whatever success means to you. Like if you had made a list of dollar amounts and whatever, maybe you are successful on paper, but I want to know if you are actually freaking happy, because if you're not, you're going to burn out so freaking fast. Like you're not even going to know what hit you. You're going to wake up one day, you're going to feel like a Mack truck hit you, and you're not even going to know like what happened. Right? Like, am I right? Can I get a hell yeah? Like,
heck yeah.
Right? Yes. All right. So Elaine, we have such similar takes on like our thoughts of success, right? So like money is power, right? Wrong. Okay. So if that was your take on success before, what would you say is like your take or your general definition of success for you right now in your life? Because I know we talked about it could change a week from now, it could change tomorrow, but what is it as we sit here right now? Like, what is your take on success?
So currently, May 11th, 12:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Success to me is making a difference in people's lives. It's helping people. It's seeing their lives change. Seeing them go from stressed and overwhelmed to feeling like they can take on the world and everything is not hopeless, that they're not alone in what they're going through. And please, no matter what, do not let other people tell you what should make you happy. This is your life. You get to decide. You are the captain of this ship. Steer it accordingly.
I'm gonna like start crying over here. I feel like my eyes are watering up. This is really embarrassing. Oh, this is so freaking powerful. Like, Oh, I can't. Oh, okay. Luckily for the podcast, you won't be seeing me, but oh my gosh, this is so powerful. So, okay, as we wrap this up, I just know there are so many people out there who can relate to this, who are loving hearing you talk to me about this. Like they may not even be willing to admit that they can relate to this, but I know they're out there and they can relate to this. So, what advice would you have for, some of these women who are maybe in that journey of feeling lost, or maybe they're in the crossroads of, having to make some like really life-changing decisions? Like, what advice would you have for someone that's in that position right now?
Take time. Like I said, when I was going through this, like I sat with it for 2 years, and don't get me wrong, it's frustrating sometimes. And you're like, I just want to know what I want to do. Right? Like that's normal. That is okay. But take time. Think about what you enjoy. Each year I do Cultivate What Matters, their power sheets. And one of the things that they always ask you in there is to write a list of things that fire you up and what brings you joy. And I've been doing that for over 10 years. And some things on the list have changed, but a lot of them have remained the same, and for me, journaling prompts and just 15 minutes to yourself can yield remarkable insights. I have never been more shocked and surprised at what flows out of my pen onto that paper, where I didn't even realize like that was something I wanted, something I felt, something that was concerning me. And because there's no filter, it's just coming straight out. And then I read it after, and I was like, did not know that. Guess I need to work on that, so just taking 15 minutes to yourself. And I know that we're women, and a lot of us have families, and we have so many responsibilities, but take 15 minutes away from scrolling through social media, sit down in a quiet look, I do it too.
I feel seen, I feel attacked. I feel all the feelings right now.
But sit down in a quiet room and go through a journal prompt. Set a timer for 15 minutes. And when it's over, it's over. And you will be surprised at what you learn over the time.
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like a timeout to me. But but you know what? I feel like that's actually really powerful and really important. And that like when we don't take time for ourselves, we should be putting a timeout, right? Like we should be sort of like not punishing. I'm not taking this into the road of like being punished, but like we should be sort of like going in these adult timeouts because we don't do it enough. We don't spend enough time focusing on what we need. And as a mom, it's a very, very blurry line because you are responsible for keeping this other human alive. And, like that takes a priority, but when it's a priority too much and you start to wither away, that's where it becomes a problem, like a big problem.
And it's also reframing your thinking. Just like you said, you're like, I think of that as a timeout. Well, when you start to reframe your thinking, and as you were talking, you were like, but this is something that it helps me. It helps to center me and whatnot. So instead of thinking of this is an adult timeout, say, this is a way for me to better myself so that I can be more present with my family.
For sure. And my business mind is racing right now because I'm currently like, how can I develop an adult timeout book that's like glorifying making yourself take time for yourself? Like, how can I reframe that phrase into like something really good? So if you guys see something come out in the next couple of months, it was me. It was born in this freaking episode. Okay. So Elaine, I guess you'll get maybe like some credit in there.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Hey, make an app, like have someone, it'll come up on your phone. You're like, all right, gotta take 15 minutes. Sorry.
All right. Jessi said so. Jessi and Elaine, they said I needed a timeout. And you know what? Who is to tell them no?
Call it Jessi Says So.
Yes. Sold. I am sold with this. Oh my gosh. All right. Elaine, thank you so much for joining me today and helping me open up the conversation. This has been absolutely amazing. So Elaine, I know that people are vibing with you, because if they vibe with me, there is no chance in hell they don't vibe with you, right? So if they are out there, they are sitting there and they're like, I need more of this girl in my life. Where can they find you, and how is the best way to like get in touch with you if they want to chat with you or even work with you?
Absolutely. So on all the socials, I'm Carolina Pineapple. On Instagram, it's Carolina_pineapple, because apparently there are 2 Carolina pineapples, one without an underscore. So just remember that. I'm most active on Instagram, but you can also get me on my website, which is 𝐂𝐎𝐿ineapplelife.com. But like I said, I am most active on Instagram. So come say hi. I love chatting with people. And, Jessi, I love talking to you. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, absolutely. And thank you guys so much for joining us today. Wherever you are listening, make sure that you guys keep your minds open. Redefine success on a daily freaking basis. Okay. There is no destination. Be out there for the journey, be out there for the winding road. And when you develop your own version of success, success will find you. Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much. We will chat with you soon.